and accepting. I want them to get treatment that they see fit, but that's not involving me. The idea behind the transgender movement as a civil rights movement is the idea that all of their problems would just go away if I would pretend that they were the sex to which they claim membership. That's nonsense. The transgender suicide rate is 40%. It is 40%. And according to the Anderson School at UCLA, it makes no difference. There's a study that came out last year. It makes no difference, virtually no difference, statistically speaking, as to whether people recognize you as a transgender person or not, which suggests there's a very high comorbidity between transgenderism, whatever that mental state may be, and suicidality. That has nothing to do with how society treats.
And Shapiro is actually misrepresenting the study. So here are some quotes from the study, and you'll see these quotes from many other studies, but it says, quote, "Prevalence of suicide attempts is elevated among those who disclose to everyone that they are transgender or gender nonconforming, and among those that report others can tell always or most of the time that they are transgender or gender nonconforming, even if they don't tell them." Now another quote says, "This would be consistent with the findings of significantly lower prevalence of suicide attempts among respondents who said people can never tell they are transgender or gender nonconforming, and those who never tell anyone they're transgender or gender nonconforming." It also says this study suggests, or this is from the Williams Institute, which is the same institute that did the study. They said the study suggests that several minority stressors, negative experiences related to anti-transgender bias, may contribute to elevated prevalence of suicide attempts amongst transgender people, such as experiences of harassment, family rejection, housing instability, and discrimination in healthcare. Over half of those who experience harassment or bullying in schools reported lifetime suicide attempts, as did 57% of those who reported that their family chose not to speak/spend time with them. High prevalence of suicide attempts was also found among those who had ever experienced homelessness, and those who reported a doctor or healthcare provider refused to treat them. So here's another one that says, it also says, "As we have noted, one possible explanation is that limiting disclosure of transgender or gender nonconforming status reduces the likelihood of experiencing bias-related rejection, discrimination, victimization, and violence, which in turn reduces the likelihood of suicidal behavior." So basically what this is saying is many of the causes is social causes in society and things that are happening, and also even like among people who don't disclose it or people who don't know, when you have people that that wouldn't accept you for who you are, that makes a very strong internal struggle, and that really can ruin someone's life. And it's the same among the LGBT community as well. So we see the same thing going on in there, but really it's society's fault for doing these kind of things. Now, I've seen him also in another clip of him talking about, transgenderism. He says that the study showed that no matter, even if you transitioned, it doesn't matter. Well, this is false, and he was citing this study. Of course, it says, quote, "As has been noted, the NTDS instrument did not include questions about the timing of suicide attempts relative to transition, and thus we were unable to determine whether suicidal behavior is significantly reduced following transition-related surgeries, as some clinical studies have suggested." So it even cites different studies that suggest that. But again, he's totally wrong, and he's brutally misrepresenting the study that actually has it and what the analysis of it was.